Hello Canastota, I'm Sean Becerra, Superintendent of Canastota Central Schools, and this is the weekly video update for Friday, January 29th. Once again, it was an all-around busy week at the school, so let's get right into some of the big news. On the academic front, the New York State Education Department filed for a waiver, actually two waivers, related to state assessments. The first requests that districts would be allowed to waive state testing requirements at the elementary, middle, and high school levels for the 2020-21 school year. The second waiver requests that schools be relieved of the federally required accountability measures, which includes things like state assessments, but also chronic absenteeism, graduation rates, and several other measures. As you know, the administration of the January Regents exams have already been canceled a number of weeks ago. We're anxiously awaiting the federal response to the waiver request from New York State, and we'll let you know as soon as we know whether or not state assessments will be administered this school year. Now let's shift gears and talk about athletics. More specifically, the potential return of medium and high-risk winter sports. Late last Friday, the state reopened the door for medium and high-risk winter sports to return starting Monday, February 1st. In reopening the door, the state also noted that county health departments would be charged with authorizing the return of these sports and would provide guidelines and parameters to such a return. The summary recommendations issued by the health department can be found on our website if you'd like to read the full statement. The key recommendation states that, quote, "Our board as a whole feels it is safest to delay opening of moderate and high-risk sports for at least another month until rates can further decrease, more vaccinations can occur, and we can gain a better understanding of the new virus variants and their epidemiology. Given this guidance, Canastota schools will be following the recommendations of the experts and will delay any restart of high and medium risk sports until further notice. While we realize that people have strong opinions on both sides of the restart of sports debate, we believe that we must do what we said we'd do since the very beginning of the pandemic, consistently follow the advice of the experts. We will continue to do that now in this case. Please keep in mind that this is not saying that sports will not return at all this year, but rather that they recommend a 30-day window to be established that will allow for further evaluation of regional infection data and will allow districts to create thoughtful, well-articulated, and clearly understood plans that will inform our plan if we are allowed to reopen. While delayed, I'm still optimistic that sports might be able to resume down the road. I would encourage students to continue to contact Mr. Congdon to let him know if you are interested in playing. In the event that the guidance at some point allows us to start up sports, we want to be ready to go. We'll continue to update you and keep you posted as the situation develops. I'll end the update this week on a positive note relating to the financial condition of the district. For the last several years, the New York State Comptroller's Office has issued a fiscal stress report for every school district in the state. In the past few days, the report was released for the 2020 year. In the report, districts are categorized in four areas: high, moderate, or susceptible to fiscal stress, with the fourth option being a no designation, which is the lowest level of fiscal stress. We're pleased to report that Canastota schools received a no designation, which is the most desirable category. While this in no way means that money is no object for the district, it clearly will continue to be a major concern and area of focus for this administration and school board. It does mean we're in as good a shape as you could hope for given the difficult economic climate that we're dealing with. While managing the finances of the district will continue to be a challenge in this economic climate, the fact that the district was not only in the best category, but actually had a raw score of 0 in the fiscal stress category, which is the best score possible, is a testament to the sound fiscal management plan that our Board of Education has put in place. One popular question I've received this week is whether or not Peterborough students will return to school on Monday. The answer to that question is yes. Peterborough will be returning on Monday, and we're looking forward to having our students back. We'll certainly update you with any developments over the weekend, but again, as of Friday afternoon, We are planning for a return to in-person instruction on Monday. And my final announcement has to do with snow days. As you know, the district is taking advantage of a pilot program made available by the state that allows districts to use remote learning on days that were traditionally snow days. Back in early December, we announced that the first snow days, 2 snow days of the year, would be traditional snow days. No instruction would occur. Beginning with the 3rd snow day and any days beyond that, we would employ a remote learning format. This allowed us to ensure that we had adequate instruction days to meet state requirements without ever having to take days away from April break or any other break in the event that we had a bad weather year and used too many allocated snow days. Well, if you're a fan of the traditional snow day, you're going to like what I'm about to say. After further analysis of our school calendar and mandatory attendance requirements, we've determined that we will be able to still have 2 more traditional snow days, even in addition. This is in addition to the one that we already used. So again, the next 2 snow days, there will be no remote learning. That means you can enjoy that extra, you can enjoy sleeping in a little bit extra, playing outside in the snow, or maybe a little of both, however you enjoy spending your snow days. In the meantime, hope you have a great weekend, stay warm as we move into the heart of winter, and go Raiders.
Hi Canastota, my name is Nick Panuccio and I'm the business manager. I'm just going to go over a couple of things today. One, I'm going to go over the aid categories that we have for our state aid, and then I'm going to go over some budget numbers of some of the aid that we're not receiving. So when you look at the year 2021 compared to 2022, you can see the foundation aid, that's the same category. The next category, if you look on the right side, where it says services aid, that's made up of BOCES, hardware, software technology, library, and transportation. Those are expense driven, so I'm not sure why they put them into one category. Not sure how they're going to figure out how they're expense driven when they just put them all into one. So I have a funny feeling that one day they may end up in foundation aid. There's just a lot more to be determined with these aid categories. The next 2 stay the same, the public high cost access aid and the private access cost. What happens is those are our special ed kids that are in public and private schools. As you go more down towards the bottom, building aid stays the same, universal pre-K stays the same. But you look on the right side, they have the CARES Act pandemic adjustment, and then they have the new CRRSA pandemic adjustment, which is the one that Trump signed right before January 1st. So what they're doing is they're making an adjustment by taking the money out, saying they don't have it, and they're supplementing it with the federal CARES money and the CRRSA money that the federal government has given to us. I think one thing that we need to pay attention to going forward is what happens when those federal funds are taken away. Do the other adjustments come back, or do they stay away forever? We don't know, and there's more determined. Then we will find out and we will let you know. There is one thing, the star payment, if you see that towards the right in the middle, not sure why that's in there. That has to do with our levy and property taxes. It's not state aid. So we're not sure what kind of a shell game the government's trying to play, but as soon as we find out, we will let you know. We don't know much right now. We just know that we're waiting for March in order to get the full information on all these aid categories. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about budget numbers, and we're going to focus in on foundation aid only for today. So as you can see in 1920, $10,672,278 was our foundation aid. Typically, between 1.8 and 2.5%, our district will go up each year. So if you look in the next column with the increase, that's the amount that it should go up to. For 2020-21, you see the same thing in the right column. That's how much we should have received. In 2021-22, it's going to be flat for the 3rd straight year. If we did receive that 2.2% increase on the average, we should have received $11,392,258. I want to point out that if you look at the difference in the years, the first year, $235,000 is what we missed, and we weren't able to get because it stayed flat. Second year was $474,000, and the third year, because we stayed flat, we're missing out on $719,000. So this is cumulative. It adds up. So if you go to the cumulative column, if you look over where 21-22 is, next year, we would have lost in a 3-year period, $1,429,000. That's a significant amount of money that we do not have for our expenses that we have in our budget. Forecasting, we're not sure if anything's going to change, so I just forecasted the next 2 years. And if you look all the way to the right, you can see that if foundation aid stays flat, we would lose $3.6 million. The one thing I can say, it's not just Canastota School District, it is every school district in New York State. They're faced with the foundation aid being flat and not being raised. We're already underfunded as it is. Without seeing these increases, this is going to be very detrimental to the district. I'll give more budget information in the next coming weeks on other aid categories, and we'll see in March whether or not this actually does stay down again. Thank you.